Welcome to the Phone Arena video review of the Palm Pre. The Pre is a phone that needs no introduction. Not since the original iPhone has there been this much hype in the mobile space. The iPhone set the mobile world ablaze. The new, different operating system has been copied and emulated many times, but nobody's quite gotten it right. Palm took a slightly different approach and didn't try to just copy it. They tried to expand on it. The result is WebOS, a completely new operating system from a company most of us read off just a year ago. The results are beautiful. From the design of the phone, emulated after a polished Riverstone, to the thought process behind the operating system. Palm has done a fantastic job listening to users, finding out what they want, and responding with a wonderful device. First and foremost may be the hardware keyboard. This has been one of the biggest knocks on the iPhone since the day it arrived. While there are people that swear by the on-screen devices, and we're not ones that dislike it all that much, there are still out there who want their hard keyboard. The Pre delivers, with a blend between the Trio Pro and the Centro. The keys have just a little bit of tackiness to them, and the more you use it, the more this tackiness goes away. That's a good thing, and as the keys wear down, they become a little bit more comfortable. The key spacing is pretty good. It is slightly cramped, although a little bit larger than the Trio Pro. For those with normal to above average size fingers, you should be okay. But for those with very large fingers, it might be a little cramped for you. However, even though there's no on-screen keyboard right now, Palm has said there's nothing stopping a developer to write one of their own. What made the iPhone dominate the marketplace is their App Store. Palm's taking this to the next level with a much more open software developer kit. It's currently not available to the general public, but so far the developer reviews are fantastic. Pandora's mentioned that it took them 6 weeks to write their iPhone application, where it only took them 4 days to write their Pre application. With such a head start on development, the iPhone has tons of applications out there. But with an easier to write for platform, we think the Pre will catch up relatively quick. In terms of the design, it's extremely simple. The only hardware buttons are a volume rocker on the left side, of course the full QWERTY keyboard, and then a button down at the bottom. We're going to open something here, in this case our mailbox, and hitting that button minimizes that. This is Palm's card view, and what allows them multitasking on the phone. We can have many applications running. Some reports have up to 32 at one time. By most accounts, it's somewhere between 15 and 20 before the phone starts to noticeably slow down. We can quickly switch through these applications and bring the ones back up that we want. Once we're done, a simple flick of the finger, and the application not only closes, but saves whatever data is on there. This is just the start of a wonderful new operating system. Where the Pre truly differentiates itself from the iPhone is in software. Mobile OS X was a wonderful revolution. It made an often complicated process simple, and users started to enjoy using their device. WebOS takes this to a new level. It integrates everything in your life. Palm Synergy is quite simply brilliant, and the software as a whole is fantastic to use. The home screen is very basic. You have your status icons up at the top, and then you have a launcher. 5 icons down at the bottom, 4 of which are user signable, and the 5th of which is a little button to bring up the main menu. From here, the user can flick through 3 pages and use the icons and organize them in any way they wish. If we want to add an icon to the launcher, we simply press and hold, take one off, press and hold, add one back on. The same thing can be done to reorganize them. We're going to open an application here and show you one of the great features of WebOS. Here we have our contacts, but this isn't really that important. If we swipe up from the bottom you can see that our launcher follows us. Because we can assign these, we can then go to whatever applications matter most to us very quickly. Of course, we can also minimize to card view and just flick between them. Once we're done, simply flick it up, throw it away, and that application is gone. Let's say you're typing on a text message though, and accidentally deleted that. No worries. The application closes upon exit. This means that everything will be saved in your draft status, and there's no accidental closing an important document. Another big portion of the iPhone is its multimedia experience. Here the Pre does a fantastic job of equaling that. We're in our images right now. Let's pull up our photo roll and just pick a random picture. Here's a picture from some car show we went to today. Just like the iPhone, we can pinch and zoom using multi-touch. A double tap also works, and then we can flick between pictures. The accelerometer comes into play. As we pick it up and turn it, the item will flip. None of this is extremely different from what we saw before, but it's nice to see this in a different phone that's not made by Apple. Music is also very easy to use. Here we have all our artists listed. We can also sort by title, genre, album, and the typical things. As you can see, it's extremely simple to start playing music. And we can flick back and forth between tracks, as well as using the on-screen controls. If we minimize these, you can see the little music icon appeared on the bottom, and the screen just barely shrunk. Tapping in that area, we get controls for background music control. This is amazing, and one of the great examples of how multitasking on the Palm Pre works. This is accessible no matter where we are. So if we go back to our pictures, and we want to open that music, we can do so. The web experience on the Pre is best in class as well. Here again, we find the accelerometer come into effect. It's wicked fast and works in all directions. One of the cool things is that it even works in card view. This shows that these cards are actually active applications. They're not simply a snapshot that the user or that the phone brings up when the user minimizes. We can double tap on the screen to zoom in, and we can again also use the pinch to zoom in or out. We found the browser to be incredibly fast. We haven't had any problems loading anything thus far. It doesn't support Flash out of the box. However, Adobe has said that they will be bringing it to the Pre very soon. It does have a standalone YouTube application. The YouTube application is not as polished as we find on the iPhone or the HTC Windows mobile devices. However, it's incredibly functional, and it's really just a matter of design. It reminds us a lot of the Android app, which, even though it isn't the prettiest out there, works just fine. We can search videos, and then we can also see the most viewed videos, as well as our history. We'll pull up a random video here and show you the quality on the screen, as well as how it looks. Again, not surprisingly, the media player looks pretty familiar. Tapping the on-screen controls, or tapping the screen, toggles the on-screen controls. Everything's full screen, and on the large 3.1 display, everything looks very good. As you notice, everything is loading extremely quickly. We are connected to Wi-Fi right now, but we found the same experience over 3G. Palm has told us that the device is much more battery efficient over Wi-Fi. And so, when you're in a Wi-Fi area for a long period of time, they encourage you to enable the Wi-Fi rather than using cellular data. As we mentioned before, the App Store is what truly put the iPhone into the next stratosphere. Palm is countered with the app catalog, which, at this time, is much less robust than what Apple offers. They haven't really opened up the SDK kit yet, but instead are focusing on having a few good applications which gives the user a very positive first impression. They've only allowed a few hundred people in, but say they have a waiting list of thousands, and when it opens up, we're sure to see plenty of new and useful applications. As it is, there's a lot of stuff in here right now that we really like. Certain things like the pocket mirror and missing sync. Both of them are desktop clients, something that the Pre does lack. Palm has truly embraced cloud computing with the Pre, creating the Palm profile and backing up all your information to there. However, we realize that some users still want that desktop sync, and applications like Pocket Mirror and Missing Sync bring this to Mac and Windows users. We're just going to pick a random application here and show you how quick and easy it is to download. We get a preview of everything. It gives us a quick description. We can say there are 32 reviews of this, and then simply click download. Of course, this can go on in the background, even though it's a fairly quick process. Once it's installed, we can tap to launch it. It sends the App Store back to the card view and launches this new application that we downloaded. As always, we can get rid of it with a simple flick. It's very basic, but for some reason, this throwaway gesture is very reassuring. Some of the applications that it comes preloaded with is of course the YouTube application, and then also the Amazon MP3 store. It doesn't have the Sprint Music store, which we found quite surprising. However, we appreciate that it has the Amazon Music store instead. Here users can download and preview tracks. Amazon's 99-cent pricing remains the same, and the user gets a copy for their PC as well through their Amazon account. One thing that we are kind of surprised about as well, and don't like so much, is the fact that you can't download songs over the 3G network. Everything has to be downloaded over Wi-Fi, although they do have a pretty nifty solution, and the user can queue songs while on the cellular network, which automatically download once the phone reconnects to Wi-Fi. Hopefully we'll see that users will be able to download over the 3G network, something that's been standard on Sprint phones for a long time now. We could go on and on about WebOS, how great it is, all the different applications that are out there. But we really encourage you to go play with the Palm Pre yourself. Much like that first time you picked up an iPhone, that wow factor is really there. We'll give you a great example of what we did with the phone today. We went on a road trip and have a Motorola T505 Bluetooth speakerphone with an FM transmitter. We connected the phone and streamed our music through it, allowing us to use it as an MP3 player in our car running through our radio. When we needed to make a call, we simply minimized the music application, started dialing a number, and the music automatically paused, and our call went through our speakers. Same thing happens when we got a call. The music pauses, we take the call, and when we end, the music resumes. We loaded up the Sprint navigation application as we approached our destination so we can get finer details on where to go. Again, the music remained playing in the background and was only interrupted when the navigation wanted to give us directions. And this is a wonderful example of just how connected this device is, how amazing it is, and how great of an approach Palm has taken with WebOS. It is just a first step, but it's an amazing first step, and something that we think they will really build upon, and very quickly. We thought this is what we'd see from Android, something where the users could really develop it into something of their own. While that development has lagged, Palm has taken up the ship, and done so fantastically. The Pre has captured our heart, there's no doubt about it. It's quite simply the best phone we've ever used. That said, it's not perfect. Palm has flat out said that they think it's a great starting point, but that they're planning on developers to take it to the next level. We do agree with them. There's a great starting point with the Pre and with WebOS version 1. It addresses just about everything customers want on the phone, and if it's not there, it leaves it open for them to add it. The keys could be a little bit bigger. The hardware could be a little bit more reassuring. But all in all, the Palm Pre has that wow factor that hasn't been matched since the iPhone's made its original debut. Maybe, just maybe, Apple's in for a run for its money.